And you could take this to the bank. If Obama endorses them, then you can be 100% sure that that is the wrong option. Again, this is a spiritual battle above all else. And Obama is spiritually corrupt. I believe some crazy things about Obama that a lot of people don't want to believe yet. But I can tell you this. If he endorses a candidate, then that's God letting you know that that is the wrong candidate to go for. Obama will only endorse corruption. Obama will only endorse destruction. Obama will only endorse lies. And Obama will only endorse the people that's going to push the agenda that we just tried to stop when we voted for Donald Trump. So pay attention, because things are very black and white right now. It's very easy to see what is wrong and what is right. We've already identified Obama as the evil one. But when you see him endorsing people like Zoran Mamdani, the lady in Virginia, Gavin Newsom, understand God is making it very easy for you to see what is the wrong choice. God bless.
Obama is the worst president in our lifetime. Liberals around the country, Trump, he's terrible, he's terrible. How you figure that? Knowing that Barack Obama had 7 wars going on during his term, kicked 5.1 million families out their home. Our bankers made sure to get their bonuses. He deported twice as many Hispanics than Donald Trump has ever. He's the one who built the cages. Man dropped 26,000. I say 26,000 bombs. Do you all know he had a drone program? Basically destroyed over 90% innocent people. Mind you, people of women and children. I don't remember the damn recession that was going on. He didn't do nothing positive for the American people. Not even for black Americans. I know black Americans, once upon a time, they all starting to wake up now, but once upon a time, Obama's going to do something for us. He's going to do, no. He did something for the Fruity Pebble community with all the damn pipe dream. It was installed. People just like Hillary Clinton would have been installed. Why do y'all gotta blame Trump for everything? Make this make sense. There's a man who has been president all of combined 5 years, and it's not a politician. He ain't never been no mayor, no governor. He ain't never been no senate, no congressman. But yet apparently Donald Trump is the worst political entity in existence. How? And we had Bernie Sanders for 40 damn years. You just admitted it, that he believes that the Democratic Party should not give up their salary because they got kids to take care of. Stop it!
Month, the Department of Defense was made aware of an Obama-Biden-era legacy program called digital escorts. For nearly a decade, Microsoft has used Chinese coders, remotely supervised by U.S. contractors, to support sensitive DoD cloud systems. The program was designed to comply with contracting rules, but it exposed the department to unacceptable risk. I mean, if you're thinking America first and common sense, this doesn't pass either of those tests. So I initiated an immediate review of this vulnerability, and I want to report our initial findings. So the use of Chinese nationals to service Department of Defense cloud environments, it's over. We've issued a formal letter of concern to Microsoft documenting this breach of trust, and we're requiring a third-party audit of Microsoft's digital escort program, including the code and the submissions by Chinese nationals. This audit will be free of charge for U.S. taxpayers. I'm also tasking the Department of Defense experts with a separate investigation of the digital escort program and the Chinese Microsoft employees that were involved in it. These investigations will help us determine the impact of this digital escort workaround. Did they put anything in the code that we didn't know about? We're going to find out. Additionally, all Department of Defense software vendors will identify and terminate any Chinese involvement in DoD systems. It blows my mind that I'm even saying these things in such common sense that we ever allowed it to happen. That's why we're attacking it so hard. We expect vendors doing business with the Department of Defense to put U.S. national security ahead of profit maximization. I'm committed, like the President is, to ensuring that our national security networks are secure. Again, it's America first And it's common sense. This never should have happened in the first place, but once we found out about it, we've attacked it aggressively from the beginning, and we're going to follow all the way through the tape to make sure that this is addressed. So DoD is working in conjunction as well with our partners in the rest of the federal government to ensure that all U.S. networks are protected. God bless.
People are asking for Kamala Harris to just go ahead and resign. She got booed off a stage for the second night in a row. Y'all like the video and check this out.
We are fighting for America's future, and we understand the opportunity we have before us to turn the page on the fear.
Uh-oh. And then there's this. I saw it said Kamala Harris unveils her new pastor accent during a church service in Philadelphia. Y'all, you won't believe this one. Check this out.
Weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. The path may seem hard, the work may seem heavy, but joy cometh in the morning, and church morning is on its way.
Thank you all for joining us today as we announce the largest coordinated healthcare fraud takedown in the history of the Department of Justice. Today marks a decisive moment in our fight to protect American taxpayers from fraudsters and to defend the integrity of America's healthcare system. We are announcing today charges against 324 defendants for their alleged participation in healthcare fraud schemes involving approximately $14.6 billion in false claims submitted to Medicare, Medicaid, and other healthcare programs. In a takedown this large, I can't possibly describe all of the work that went into dismantling each scheme, but there are 4 key points that bear emphasizing. First, let me be clear about what these healthcare fraud schemes mean for every hardworking American family. These criminals didn't just steal someone else's money. They stole from you. Every fraudulent claim, every fake billing, every kickback scheme represents money taken directly from the pockets of American taxpayers who fund these essential programs through their hard work and sacrifice. And when criminals defraud these programs, they're not just committing theft. They're driving up our national deficit and threatening the long-term viability of healthcare for seniors, disabled Americans, and our most vulnerable citizens. This enforcement action involves the seizure of cash, as well as luxury vehicles and properties, returning real money to American taxpayers and to our government healthcare programs. Second, we are seeing a disturbing trend of transnational criminal organizations engaging in increasingly sophisticated and complex criminal schemes that defraud the American healthcare system. As part of this takedown, we've identified and charged defendants operating from Russia, Eastern Europe, Pakistan, and other foreign countries. These individuals have infiltrated our healthcare system to steal American taxpayer dollars. As just one example, we dismantled a scheme involving a sophisticated operation run from Russia and Eastern Europe that strategically bought dozens of medical supply companies in the United States and submitted more than $10 billion in fraudulent healthcare claims to Medicare. To make matters worse, these perpetrators used the stolen identities of more than 1 million Americans spanning all 50 states to perpetrate this scheme and submit these false claims. But I'm pleased to report that federal agents intercepted and arrested key members of that organization at U.S. airports and the U.S.-Mexico border, cutting off their intended escape routes. The days of transnational criminal organizations using the American healthcare programs as their personal piggy bank are over. Third, this takedown resulted in criminal charges against 74 defendants, including medical professionals who fueled America's deadly opioid crisis for personal profit. These are not isolated instances of poor judgment. These are calculated schemes designed to exploit Americans struggling with addiction while enriching the very people who were duty-bound to help them heal. We charged pill mill operators who prescribed unnecessary opioids. We dismantled networks of corrupt pharmacies that existed solely to distribute drugs to addicts and dealers, feeding the addiction crisis that has devastated so many American communities. This is not healthcare. It is a staggering breach of trust. And under my leadership, the criminal division will prosecute these criminals as aggressively as we would any drug dealer, because that's exactly what they are. Fourth, many of the defendants charged as part of this takedown specifically targeted our most vulnerable citizens, elderly Americans in nursing homes, individuals with disabilities, those battling serious illnesses, and more. For example, our prosecutors charged 7 defendants, including 5 medical professionals, in connection with approximately $1 billion in fraudulent claims to Medicare and other healthcare benefit programs for performing medically unnecessary skin grafts on dying patients as they were seeking to spend their final days with dignity and peace. That conduct is exactly as callous and disturbing as it sounds. Patients and their families trusted these providers with their lives. Instead of receiving care, they became victims of elaborate criminal schemes. Today's enforcement action represents the largest healthcare fraud takedown in American history. But it's not the end. It's the beginning of a new era of aggressive prosecution and data-driven prevention. Thank you.